Before you were born, before your parents were born, before every human, every animal, every ocean, every mountain, there was nothing here. Just darkness, just silence, just empty space. And then something violent happened. Something so extreme, so unbelievably powerful that it created the ground beneath your feet, the air inside your lungs, and the water in your blood. This is not a story from a book. This is the real story of how Earth was born, and it's stranger than anything you've ever been told. There was no planet here, just a cloud of dust and violence. About 4.6 billion years ago, our solar system didn't exist. Where the sun is now, where Earth is now, there was just a massive cloud. Scientists call it the solar nebula. It was made of gas, dust, and the leftover material from a star that had already lived and died long before our sun was born. Think about that for a second. The atoms in your body, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, they were forged inside a star that exploded billions of years before Earth even formed. You are quite literally made of dead stars. Now this enormous cloud began to collapse. Scientists believe something triggered it, possibly a nearby star exploding in what's called a supernova. That explosion sent a shockwave through the cloud, and the cloud began to pull itself inward. Gravity took over. As the cloud collapsed, it started spinning. Slowly at first, then faster and faster, like a spinning ice skater pulling in their arms. At the center, material piled up and heated up. Eventually, it became so hot and so dense that nuclear fusion ignited. The sun was born. But around it, a flat, spinning disk of leftover material stretched outward into space. Rocks, ice, metal, dust, all orbiting the newborn sun. And inside that disk, something new was beginning to form. Tiny rocks became a world, but it almost never happened. Here's something that sounds impossible, but is completely true. Earth was built by collisions. In that disk of dust and rock orbiting the young sun, particles bumped into each other. Most bounced apart, but some stuck together. Over time, small clumps became bigger clumps. Bigger clumps became boulders. Boulders became what scientists call planetesimals, rocky bodies the size of mountains. And then those mountain-sized rocks smashed into each other. Over millions of years, the collisions got bigger and bigger. Planetesimals merged. They grew. They developed enough gravity to pull in more material. The more massive they became, the more they attracted. Earth was growing. But this wasn't peaceful. This was violent, unimaginably violent. Early Earth was constantly being struck by asteroids and comets. The surface was covered in oceans of liquid rock, magma. The sky was thick with poisonous gas. There was no oxygen, no water, no land, just fire and impact and chaos. This phase lasted for millions of years, and scientists call it the Hadean Eon, named after Hades, the ancient Greek god of the underworld, because that's exactly what Earth looked like. Hell! But here's where the story gets strange. Earth almost died before it even became Earth. About 4.5 billion years ago, when Earth was still young and half-formed, something enormous came out of the dark. Scientists call it Theia. Theia was a planet roughly the size of Mars, and it was on a collision course with early Earth. When Theia hit Earth, it didn't just crash. It hit at an angle at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour. The impact was so powerful that both planets essentially melted. Material from both was thrown into space in a massive cloud of vaporized rock. Earth nearly broke apart completely. But gravity pulled most of the material back together. Earth reformed, slightly larger now, with some of Theia mixed into it. The leftover debris that couldn't fall back in, it stayed in orbit, and over thousands of years, that debris slowly clumped together. That's how the moon was born. The moon isn't just a rock floating in space. It's the scar of the most violent event in Earth's history, and here's what most people never consider. Without that collision, life on Earth might never have happened. The moon stabilizes Earth's tilt. Without it, our planet would wobble wildly on its axis. Seasons would become extreme and unpredictable. The climate would swing between unlivable heat and unlivable cold. The moon keeps Earth steady. The disaster that almost killed our planet may have also made life possible on it. The ocean has a secret origin, and scientists are still debating it. Earth sits in what scientists call the habitable zone. Not too close to the sun, not too far. The temperature is just right for liquid water. But here's the mystery. When Earth first formed, it was too hot for water to exist on the surface. Any water would have boiled away instantly. So where did the oceans come from? This is one of the biggest unanswered questions in science. There are two main theories. The first theory says water came from inside Earth itself. As the planet formed, water molecules were trapped inside the rocks and minerals. Over millions of years, volcanic eruptions released steam from the interior. That steam collected in the atmosphere and eventually fell as rain for millions of years, and slowly the oceans filled. The second theory says water came from space. In the early solar system, comets and asteroids, especially a type called carbonaceous chondrites, contained large amounts of water ice. As they bombarded early Earth, they delivered water like cosmic delivery trucks. Scientists currently believe both probably happened, but what nobody disputes is this: the water in every ocean, every river, every cloud, every raindrop on Earth is ancient. Some of it may have been carried here from the outer edges of the solar system billions of years ago. The water you drink today might once have been part of a comet drifting through space. Something happened in the dark ocean, and no one fully understands it. For hundreds of millions of years after the oceans formed, Earth was still lifeless. No plants, no animals, no bacteria, nothing. Then, around 3.8 billion years ago, maybe earlier, something happened in the deep ocean, near volcanic vents on the ocean floor where super hot water mixed with minerals and chemicals. Tiny chemical reactions began to occur. Over time, and scientists still argue about exactly how, those reactions produced something extraordinary: the first living cell. A single microscopic organism, no brain, no eyes, no shape you'd recognize, but it was alive. It could take in energy, it could grow, it could copy itself, and from that one cell, from that one unimaginably small beginning, every single living thing on Earth today is descended. Every tree, every fish, every bird, every human being alive right now, we all trace back to one invisible ancestor, born in the dark water of a young planet 3.8 billion years ago. Scientists call this the last universal common ancestor, LUCA. We don't know exactly what LUCA looked like. We don't know exactly when it appeared. We don't fully understand how non-living chemistry became living biology. That mystery still sits open, unanswered, in one of the greatest scientific questions of all time. How did life start? We know it did. We just don't completely know how. Here's what I want you to sit with. Everything you've ever known, every person, every city, every ocean, every moment of history exists because of a cloud of dust that collapsed, a planet that crashed into us, comets that brought water, and one tiny cell that appeared in the dark. None of it was guaranteed. At any point, it could have gone differently. Earth could have been too hot, too cold, too unstable. Life might never have started, but it did. And you are the result of 4.6 billion years of extraordinary luck, violence, and mystery. So the next time you look up at the moon, remember, that's not just a rock. That's proof that even disasters can build something beautiful. If this story made you see Earth differently, hit like. Drop a comment with the fact that surprised you most. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe. There's a lot more left to discover.